Today's topic, he doesn't want to commit. What do you do when a man doesn't want to commit? Let's say you just started dating this guy and you have a really good feeling. You want to get to know him better. You want to date him. You have this feeling, hey, this guy might be the right one for me. Maybe he's the love of my life. Maybe he will be the father of my children. Maybe he will be the man who I can spend the rest of my life with. But then you have this inner feeling at the same time, this feeling of, does he actually want to commit? He doesn't want to commit. I think he doesn't want to. He never shows me any signs that he wants to commit. And maybe he even told you explicitly, I'm not ready for a relationship, or I'm not ready for marriage, or I'm not ready to settle down. I'm not ready. What do you do now? I have to warn you, as always, I don't give you the typical BS advice that you hear from other dating coaches that just tell you what you want to hear. I tell you the cold hard truth. But if you follow the advice that I share with you here, I promise you that you will increase your chances that he wants to commit tremendously. And I also want to prepare you just in case he doesn't want to commit at all. And the first thing that I would do is to ask him about the reason why he doesn't want to commit. Usually there's always a reason. There's always some reason. I mean, no man, if he's into you, and if you follow the advice that you discover in the video in the description, then you will be this kind of woman that he's totally into and that he can't get enough of. So if you are this woman, why does he still not want to commit? Maybe he made a bad experience in the past. Maybe your ex-girlfriend cheated on him. Or maybe he's still carrying around childhood trauma that makes it impossible for him to commit. And this is actually something that was true for me. I wasn't able to commit to a woman for a very long time, and I always thought that it's just who I am, it's just how I am. But eventually I discovered that because of my heart surgeries, I have a congenital heart defect, and I had a heart surgery when I was a child and also when I was 13. Because of that, I had so much trauma in my body and trauma in my heart, basically, that I wasn't able to commit to any woman. And the same might be true for him. I mean, I don't say that he had heart surgeries. Maybe he had, maybe he hadn't. But it's all about finding out what's the reason why he doesn't want to commit. I mean, yes, there are certain things that you can do. And if you watch the video in the description, you will find out how you can do these things, how you can become more attractive, how you can become the woman that men can't get enough of and that they want in their life. But as long as you don't fix the underlying issue, he won't commit. It's a little bit like putting a plaster on a wound without actually thinking about why is the wound there in the first place? What can I do to prevent this wound from getting bigger? What can I do to heal this wound and not just cover it up? And that's why I want you to ask him for the reason. Find out why he doesn't want to commit. And don't confront him in a way like, why don't you want to commit? I do everything for you. Why don't you do it? This will only put him in the defense and then he will get reactive, and that's not what you want. Instead, show empathy. Show that you care about how he feels and then help him to overcome these emotional issues. Nobody's perfect. Even though he wants to be perfect for you, he wants to be your perfect partner. And you maybe even want him to be perfect, but he's not perfect. He's just a human being like you, like everyone else. We all have emotional wounds and we all deserve the time to heal. I mean, I destroyed relationships in the past because of my trauma. And I didn't know that my trauma was expressing itself like that. I mean, I had abandonment issues and I had commitment issues. And I know this might sound a little bit weird combined. But people with abandonment issues, when they have certain trauma in their life, they rather sabotage a relationship and leave the other person before they give the other person the chance to leave them. And maybe this is the case for him. So find out what it is and then help him to overcome these emotional issues. And I know it doesn't make any logical sense when you think about it. Why would anyone who is afraid of abandonment abandon you? It doesn't really make sense, but from a trauma, from a psychological perspective, it makes complete sense. And also from the amazing women who I coached in Skype coaching sessions, I know that this is the number one reason. There's always some trauma. I don't say that it's the same trauma that I had. Not everybody had to go through surgeries when he was a child, but there is some underlying issue. There is some underlying trauma. And if you want to discuss your individual case, your guy that you want to settle down with, if you want to discuss that with me, you can check out the second link in the description and book a Skype coaching session with me. I already helped a lot of women to make the man that they are with want to commit. And yes, I emphasize want, because it's not about forcing him to commit. I mean, you don't want a man to commit to you who doesn't really want it. And then the relationship will be miserable. And you can say, hey, yeah, he committed to me. Awesome. But if he's not really happy, if it doesn't come from his intrinsic motivation, then it's worth nothing. And if you decide to book a Skype coaching session with me, I show you exactly how you can make him commit in a way that he wants to do it and that he won't change his mind later on. And the next point that I want to share with you might offend you and you might hate me for saying it, but after finding out what traumatic experience made him not want to commit to any woman, after you found that out, this is the next biggest issue. Ask him if it's about money. This is a very important issue for men, and I know that you as a woman, you don't want to hear this, and you are also an independent and successful woman. You don't want his money. I know that, because none of my Skype coaching clients have ever said, hey, I want to date this guy because of his money. I mean, yes, of course, a man who's successful, who has achieved something in life, who has done something with his life, is way more attractive than a man who's a complete loser. That's completely normal. But I know that deep down you don't want this man because of his money, but you want him because of the qualities that he has. I know that, you know that, but he doesn't know it. So make sure that you communicate in a very honest way that it's not about money, because especially successful men, and I have several businesses, I am a very financially successful guy, we are terribly afraid of settling down with women and losing our money. That's just how it is. I know you don't want to hear this, but that's how it is. And if you can prove to him with your behavior and with the way you act in a relationship, and also when it comes to marriage later, maybe even with a prenup, if you can communicate to him in a clear, concise, and honest and authentic way that you are not after his money, your chances that he will commit will go through the roof. I guarantee you that. Every woman who I coached in a Skype coaching session who had this issue and who at first didn't believe me that this was the issue, when she talked about money with the guy that she wanted to settle down with, everything changed, and suddenly I received these emails of thank you so much, he finally wanted to commit to me. And I love to receive these emails, and I also love if women talk about money with the man that they're dating, because often money is considered as this issue, as this thing that nobody wants to talk about. Oh, you don't talk about money. Nah, money is not something that you talk about. You're in a relationship. You want him to commit. You want to spend the rest of your life with him. You should talk about these things. And if you can communicate it in an honest way, that you are not after his money, that he doesn't have to worry about anything when it comes to his assets and to his money, then I guarantee you that the most successful man will be happy to settle down with you, because then you take away all his fear of commitment. And all you have to do is to convince him that you are not interested in his money because you are the amazing independent woman that you are. And now he also knows this. But what if you discovered the reason why he doesn't want to commit? And what if you put in all the energy and all the work to help him to get over this traumatic experience and to resolve this emotional issue? And what if you also communicated that you are not interested in his money, but he still doesn't want to settle down with you, he still doesn't want to commit? Let's be honest, if you are there for him, if you support him, if you give him the chance to work on his emotional issues, and if you let him know that money doesn't matter to you, and he still doesn't want to commit to you, then he's not the right guy for you. And I don't say that the tips that you will discover in the video in the description won't change his mind. There's still a chance that he will commit. But in general, you have to realize that if a man really doesn't want to commit to you, then you have to move on. Because you deserve so much better. You deserve an amazing man, an amazing high quality man, an amazing successful man who wants to commit to you. You're an amazing woman, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're independent, and I know this because all of my Skype coaching clients fall in this category. So don't put up with a man who's not willing to commit to you when you've done all these previous steps that I shared with you, because there are so many men out there who would love to date a woman like you and who will adore you the way you deserve it. And if you want to become the woman that men adore, then you have to check out the link in the description and watch this life-changing video. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.